Namo Sakya Muni Buddha. Dear Venerable Sangha, Buddhist ladies and gentlemen, you are invited to join us in this weekly Buddhist Newsreel on Phật online channel. Hereafter, 7 major headlines of Buddhist activities of the week. Second meeting for amending Sangha's chapter. Central Board of Buddhist Guidance Section reviews monastic affairs of tenure 2017 to 2022. QUANG Most Venerable Thích Phước Minh elected to be head of Provincial Buddhist Parochial Board for 2022 to 2027 tenure. Ho Chi Minh City Buddhist Parochial Board approves 43 personnel for Communication Section. Decision announcement and induction of personnel for the International Buddhism Board of Ho Chi Minh City in tenure 2022 to 2027. Hanoi Equanimity Retreat Course in Lunar August Aposata at Bang Pagoda. Digest of donation activities in the week. The following are the news in details. On the afternoon of September the 8th, 2022, the Standing Board of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Administrative Council held a meeting on amending the charter of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha at QUANG Monastery in Ho Chi Minh City.
Most Venerable Thích, Chairman of the Administrative Council, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Head of the Steering Board, Head of the Human Resources Section of the 9th National Buddhist Congress, chaired the meeting. Most Venerable reviewed some important contents of the meeting. At the same time, the Most Venerable, the Chairman, hoped that the Venerables at the meeting would absorb opinions, discuss and agreed on the amendment to the charter of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha to facilitate discussions with relevant government agencies. At the meeting, the Venerables discussed and received practical suggestions from the leaders of the Standing Board of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Administrative Council in order to complete the final version of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha's charter in accordance with the provisions of the law on beliefs and religion and the current state law, as well as in accordance with the practice of Buddhist affairs administration in contemporary period. After attentively listening to comments and discussions of honorifics and venerables, the Most Venerable Chairman of the meeting recorded the inputs and opinions and approved the contributions to perfect the contents of the Sangha's charter.
On the morning of September 14th, 2022, the Central Board of Buddhist Sangha of Vietnam held a conference at QUANG Monastery, Ho Chi Minh City, to summarize monastic work in 2017 to 2022 and roll out the direction for activities during the tenure 2022 to 2027.
In the opening speech, Most Venerable Thích revealed that board had been gradually helping millions of Buddhists in the country as well as abroad to unite, harmonize, cultivate a spiritual and dignified mind. At the same time, the board also focuses on studying the true Dhamma so that each monk, nun, and Buddhist practitioner oneself always try to practice, constantly renew the specialized Buddhist work in order to serve the religion and help the people to make the Dhamma clear and strong for the prosperity of the nation. In the overall review for the 2017 to 2022 tenure, Venerable Thích, Vice Director and Chief Clerk of the Central Buddhist Guidance Board, said that the board has guided Buddhists to practice and study, to serve the spiritual and religious needs of the laities, creating prestige and trust for monks, nuns, and Buddhists at home and abroad, as well as the world Buddhist community in the period of integration and development. After being heavily impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, the board continued to organize the retreats, events, and 3 jewels refuge courses for young Buddhist laities. Besides, the board has also been actively accompanying the government in social security to have disadvantaged people. In his blessing words, Most Venerable TP.HCM, chairman of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Parochial Council, praised the venerables of the Central Unit for Buddhist Guidance Board, and he affirmed the important contributions of the board in preparation of the upcoming National Buddhist Congress. The Most Venerable Chairman believes that the Central Unit of Buddhist guidance will grow stronger and achieve greater success.
On the morning of September the 10th, 2022, the Buddhist Congress of Quang Nam Province for the term 2022 to 2027 was held at the Cultural Center of Tam Hy City with the participation of more than 400 delegates and guests.
In the opening speech, Most Venerable Thích Thiện Thành summarized the achievements in the last monastic term of Quang Nam Buddhism, aiming to comprehensively develop all aspects and rejuvenate the Sangha leadership team in the new tenure. In the summary report, Venerable Thích Viên Trừng informed the advantages and disadvantages of Buddhism in the province. Particularly, social security activities have disbursed over 200 billion Vietnam dong. At the Congress, individuals and groups with outstanding achievements were awarded with certificates of merit for their positive contributions to the development of the provincial Sangha and supporting the construction of almshouses for people with difficult situation in Nam Trà My district worth of 100 million Vietnam dong. The Congress agreed to elect Most Venerable Thích Phước Minh to be the head of the Buddhist Parochial Board. In his pleasant words, Most Venerable TP.HCM praised the Quang Nam Buddhist Parochial Board and hoped that the board would achieve numerous Buddhist achievements in the new term. After approving the list of provincial Buddhist representatives to attend the National Buddhist Congress, Venerable Thích Viên Quang presented the draft resolution of Buddhist Congress of Quang Nam Province in 2022-2027 tenure, and Most Venerable Thích Huệ Thông had consulted and approved the resolution to navigate the activities of Buddhism in the province.
On September 14th, 2022, Ho Chi Minh City Buddhist Parochial Board held a ceremony to announce and pass a decision on 43 mandatory members of Information and Communication Section for the tenure 2022 to 2027 at Vietnam National Temple, Ho Chi Minh City.
Venerable Thích Tâm Hạ reveals that the Information and Communication Section has just started its third term. Its activities are formed in the context of information explosion in many aspects, profound impacts on people's lives and the religion. The communications section has selected enthusiastic members to contribute to the development of Buddhism, to have a noble position in the hearts of the nation and the world. Addressing the assignment, Venerable Thích Tâm Hạ affirmed, members of the communication sections promise to always commit without hesitation to bring benefits and peace to ourselves and the community, to contribute to the dignification of the Sangha. Most Venerable Thích Lệ Trang, head of Ho Chi Minh City Buddhist Parochial Board, acknowledged that with the current trend of globalization, Buddhism was constantly changing and updating to spread the spirit of Vietnam Buddhism. Most Venerable added, Buddhism, in addition to philosophical and scientific vision, is a treasure of Dharma teachings rich in Buddhist words and terms. This is a meridian line to help the next generation learn and study about their ancestors who had received Buddhism for more than 2,000 years, then developed the religion in the past, the present, and the future.
In the afternoon of September the 8th, 2022, the City Buddhist Parochial Board announced the decision to approve the personnel of the International Buddhism Board of Ho Chi Minh City in tenure 2022 to 2027 at Vietnam National Pagoda in Ho Chi Minh City.
In his opening remarks, Venerable Thích Nhật Từ, head of the organizing committee, presented an overview of the contributions of the International Buddhism Board of Ho Chi Minh City in the past tenure, and at the same time raised the principle of multilateral diplomacy, respecting the special distinguished features in diplomatic relations with all countries in the world, as well as the ways of cooperation between bilateral and multilateral sides. After a report summarizing the last monastic tenure and the direction of the board's Buddhist activities in the new tenure, 2022-2027, Venerable Thích announced the decision to approve the personnel composition of the International Buddhism Board of Ho Chi Minh City, Tenure 10, which includes 50 members, led by Venerable Thích, who is in charge of the head. Addressing the assignment, Venerable Thích vowed to bring all the energy, wisdom, and resources of the board to fulfill its responsibilities and hope to continue receiving the attention of various departments so that the International Buddhism Board can complete its tasks in the new tenure. At the ceremony, the International Buddhism Board of Ho Chi Minh City announced the decision and introduced 18 members of the sponsoring board. On this occasion, the organizing board awarded 4 scholarships to support the monks and nuns or doctorate in foreign countries worth of 3,000 USD per year and 7 scholarships to support monks and nuns pursuing doctoral degrees and 15 scholarships to support Buddhist monks and nuns from Vietnam Buddhist University in Ho Chi Minh City. The value of each scholarship is 3 million Vietnam dong. Most Venerable Thích Lệ Trang, head of the Ho Chi Minh City Buddhist Parochial Board, has raised the important role of Buddhism in the spiritual life of Vietnamese so far through the 2 philosophical concepts, ancient and Neoism. The Most Venerable reminded the International Buddhism Board of inheriting the great tradition of Vietnam Buddhist patriarchs during the past 2,000 years, and at the same time contribute more to help the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, the country and the people of Vietnam in their development. The Most Venerable believes that there will be good achievements in the future. In his blessing words, Most Venerable Thích acknowledged the merits of the International Buddhism Board during the past term and wished the International Buddhism Board to better perform the mandate entrusted by the Sangha.
On September 11, 2022, from early morning, a large number of Pháp Hoa Buddhist ashram gathered at Bang Pagoda in Hanoi City to attend the Aposatha retreat course according to the monthly study schedule.
Most Venerable Thích Nghiêm, Vice Chairman of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Administrative Council, head of the Dhamma Enactment Section, held a ceremony to burn incense to the Buddha, to worship the Patriarch and organize the ordination sima for disabled and ascetic practitioner who had practiced the 8 precepts. The one-day retreat of the 8 precepts is to keep the body and mind pure for 24 hours. The disabled have made a vow before the 3 jewels, vowing to practice diligently, keep the precept fully to increase their blessing, and pray that sentient beings in human realm will soon know the joy of the Buddha Dhamma. Sharing the time of the Dhamma talk, Venerable Thích Phương, abbot of Nhiễu Long Pagoda in Hướng District, Hà Tĩnh Province, quoted an excerpt from the book To Wake Up Those Who Are Not Enlightened by Gushan Ling Yu, the Patriarch's words about the sufferings of body bondage. Because of the karmic bondage, there is no body, so it is not yet free from the sufferings of the body. Life receives the essence of the parent's blood and borrows the predestined condition to form it, although relying on the 4 elements, earth, water, wind, fire, to maintain, but these 4 elements often oppose each other. Venerable encouraged the Buddhists to be aware of the impermanence, the transience of human life, because the patriarchal monks advise us not to rely on other people, because the human body is difficult to gain but easy to lose, so always remember to practice. Because only one breath out and no air in, the human life would end. After that, the congregation chanted the 5th volume of the Lotus Sutra to pray for the longevity of the Dhamma, world peace, epidemic eradication, and people's peace. In the afternoon, the assembly performed the ritual of worshipping the mindset of refrain from craving for eating in front of a readily offered meal, to eat vegetarian rice in mindfulness and awakening. In the early afternoon, the crowd continued to recite the four Buddha's faculties in Lotus Sutra to pray for the peace of the nations and the people, which closed a day full of joy and happiness.
In order to join hands to support the community, the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha has carried out practical charity activities for people during holidays and fiesta. In addition to organizing Mid-Autumn Festival nights for children, monasteries also organize gift giving to support the disadvantaged. Here is the digest of some charity activities updated in the week.
On the morning of September 14, 2022, Venerable Thích Đức Chiếu, Abbot of Phước Minh Pagoda in Lạc Hòa, Khâm Nguyên, Vĩnh Châu Town, Sóc Trăng Province, coordinated with a volunteer group to give 700 gifts to support the disadvantaged, with a total value of 350 million Vietnam dong. Sponsoring this charity activity is Buddhist follower Yu Huệ from Australia, who had called on benevolent families far from home to raise funds to share with disadvantaged people in the homeland. Each gift is worth 500,000 Vietnam dong. On the morning of September 12, 2022, the charity team of QUANG Pagoda in Kinh Province, represented by Buddhist TP.HCM Ân, visited and gave gifts to students at Phật Quang Social Charity Center in Hòn Đất District, Kinh Province. The team distributed gifts to support Kinh Buddhist Intermediate School and Phật Quang Social Charity Center with a total value of 20 million Vietnam dong. Phật Quang Social Charity Center is a charity foundation of Kinh Provincial Buddhism led by Venerable Thích Minh, the founder, and it is a place to nurture over 200 disadvantaged children. Here, all of the children's amenities for living and learning are provided for free by the center, as it is funded by the benefactors and Buddhists who join hands to take care of the children. Previously, on September 11, Master Nun Thích Nữ Như Liên, Abbot of Ngọc Tâm Vihara in Rạch Giá City, as head of the team and Buddhist followers, visited and presented 50 gifts to the students at Phật Quang Social Charity Center. The delegation also donated 1 ton of rice, 55 gift portions, included cash and amenities to support the monastic students at the Buddhist Intermediate School of Kinh Province, and contributed 20 million Vietnam dong into the construction of the school. On the afternoon of September 10, 2022, Venerable Thích Tỉnh Triệt, Abbot of Phước Long Pagoda in Đồng Tháp Province, coordinated with the local authorities and sponsors of Phạm Ngọc Thạch Hospital, Ho Chi Minh City, held a Mid-Autumn Festival for more than 800 children. The Venerable Thích Tỉnh Triệt shared about the meaning of the Mid-Autumn Festival and reminded the children to always be good children. Attending the program, children watched lion dances, magic tricks, listened to stories about Mid-Autumn Festival, received gifts, and enjoyed moon cakes.
Venerable monks and nuns, Buddhist ladies and gentlemen, the last news has signed off this weekly newsreel. Thank you for your attention and following. Goodbye and see you in the next program on PSO TV channel. Namo Sakya Muni Buddha.